You ever look at your life and think, okay, I'm earning more than I ever have, so why does it still feel like I'm one bad week away from stress? Like your phone is better, your car is newer, your apartment looks nicer, you've got subscriptions, deliveries, cashbacks, reward points, and EMIs running quietly in the background. On paper, you look richer than your parents ever did. But your bank balance, your savings, your ability to quit your job if you had to? Yeah, not so much. And here's the weird part. This didn't happen by accident. You didn't suddenly become bad with money. You were designed to feel richer while quietly getting poorer. My name's Floki, and I spend way too much time thinking about how money psychology and modern systems affect our financial decisions. If you're someone who earns money, pays bills, and still feels like financial freedom keeps moving further away, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Here's the thing. Most people judge their financial progress emotionally, not mathematically. They don't ask, is my net worth growing? Is my future more secure? They ask, does my life feel better? Can I afford nicer things? Am I more comfortable than before? And companies figured this out. They realized if they could improve how your life feels today, you'd stop worrying about tomorrow. That's the core trick. Let me show you how this actually plays out. Say you make $60,000 a year. After taxes, that's roughly $45,000 take-home, about $3,750 per month. Now watch how modern companies quietly divide that up. Your car payment is $450. Your phone is $60 a month. Subscriptions, maybe $80. Food delivery and convenience spending, $200. Credit card minimums, $300. Rent, $1,400. Random small stuff you don't track, another $500. Suddenly, almost $3,000 is already gone. And here's what companies want you thinking. It's fine, everything is affordable. But here's what most people don't realize. Affordable doesn't mean safe. Affordable just means spread out. You don't feel poor, you feel stable. And stability feels like success. But stability without margin is fragile. Feeling rich and being rich are two very different things. Being rich is about assets, options, and time control. Feeling rich is about convenience, comfort, and status. Modern companies don't sell wealth. They sell comfort on a payment plan. And once you understand that, a lot of things start making sense. Now you might be thinking, okay, but what's wrong with monthly payments? Everyone uses them. Exactly. That's why they're so powerful. Your brain hates large upfront costs, but it's incredibly comfortable with small recurring ones. A $1,200 phone feels expensive. A $40 monthly payment feels harmless. Same phone, same cost, completely different emotional response. This is called payment framing, and it works insanely well. Behavioral studies show people are up to 50% more likely to buy something when the cost is broken up into monthly payments. Why? Because recurring payments fade into the background of your life. They don't hurt all at once. They quietly sit there. And once they're part of your routine, you stop questioning them. This is where it gets really interesting. Subscriptions don't just drain money, they drain awareness. People think they spend maybe $80 or $90 a month on subscriptions. In reality, studies show the average person spends closer to $230. That's over $2,700 a year, gone without any single moment of pain. And because there's no pain, there's no urgency to stop. Convenience works the same way. Food delivery is a perfect example. A $10 meal turns into $16 or $17 after fees and tips. That's a 60% markup for convenience. Do that a couple of weeks, and you're spending $3,000 a year just to avoid minor inconvenience. You don't feel broke doing this. You feel busy. You feel modern. You feel like someone whose time is valuable. That feeling is what you're paying for. And this system hits one group harder than anyone else, the middle class. The poor can't afford the illusion. The wealthy don't need it. But the middle class has steady income, access to credit, and a strong desire to appear stable. So companies build products that signal success while quietly locking you into long-term payments. You don't own more things. You manage more obligations. That's a massive difference. Let me ask you something uncomfortable. If your income stopped tomorrow, how many of your payments would stop with it? Cars don't stop. Phones don't stop. Subscriptions don't stop. Rent doesn't stop. This is why people with good salaries still panic during layoffs. They're not rich.
They're optimized, efficient, productive, predictable. And predictable customers are incredibly valuable. That's what companies really care about, not how wealthy you are, how reliable you are. Monthly payments make you reliable. That's why everything is moving towards subscriptions, memberships, and auto renewals. Unpredictable people cancel. Predictable people pay forever. Now you might be thinking, okay, fine, I'll just earn more. That's the trap. Lifestyle upgrades happen faster than income growth. Every raise unlocks a nicer apartment, a better car, more convenience. But those upgrades come with fixed monthly costs. Your income isn't guaranteed. Your payments are. That's why so many people making six figures still live paycheck to paycheck. Not because they're bad with money, because they've been trained to convert income into obligations. Here's the part nobody likes hearing. This works because it solves emotional problems. Swiping your card doesn't just buy a product. It buys relief. It buys belonging. It buys the feeling that you're moving forward. Companies are very good at selling feelings. So what do you do instead? First, stop tracking tiny expenses and start tracking fixed commitments. If your monthly obligations are more than 60% of your take-home pay, you're vulnerable, no matter how much you earn. Second, kill payments before chasing returns. Paying off a 12% EMI is a guaranteed win. Third, prioritize ownership over appearance. A paid-off, boring car beats a flashy, financed one every time. Fourth, add friction back into your spending. Remove saved cards. Delay purchases by 48 hours. Make convenience slightly inconvenient again. And finally, measure wealth in time. Ask yourself, how long could I live if my income stopped? That number matters more than your salary. Look, companies aren't evil. They're just extremely good at understanding human behavior. But if you don't understand the system, you end up playing it against yourself. Feeling rich is easy. Building real wealth is quiet, boring, and uncomfortable. And that's why so few people ever do it. If this made you stop and think, hit the like button. It helps more people see this. Subscribe if you want honest conversations about money without the nonsense. And ask yourself tonight, do I feel rich or am I becoming free? Those two things are not the same.